A lot of people say that I can change my destiny. My destiny is in my own hands. If I really believe, if I have a lot of faith when I'm doing something, I can actually create my own path. Is that really true?
I would say destiny exists in the program of consciousness itself, right? Not in our belief. So what we have is a program that we're operating within. And within that program, we have certain choices that we can make that maybe can improve the program that we're operating within.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, take a computer. It has a program, right? You can do things within that program to maybe make that program run better, right? But you're still operating the same program.
Right.
So in there, we have maybe a set of parameters, right? We have, 0 to 5, right? So within those levels of parameters that we have, we can either operate at 0 or operate at 5. So we do everything right in our life where we're conducting our lives the best we can, all our efforts and everything, we can go up to 5. So it feels, maybe within those parameters, it feels like a huge shift. It feels like something big is happening because anytime you go from 0 to 5, right, it feels good. It feels
Right.
like you're doing something
Some
incredible.
progress is happening.
Right? Progress is happening, right? But what we have found is like there are so many science experiments. Take, for example, we're testing blueberries and we're trying to figure out the efficacy and bioavailability of blueberries, how blueberries affects our physiology. Well, science is a certain phenomenon where you take multiple clinical trials in different groups of people, and they're all trying to alter their diet and lifestyle and incorporate more blueberries into their diet, which science has shown outside of clinical trials, right, has huge antioxidant properties. The moment it enters into a human's body, everybody treats those blueberries differently. We have some clinical trials where those blueberries have huge, outcomes, huge results on paper for clinical trials. And then we have the same studies that have been replicated and the results aren't as good. Or we
Okay.
show even results that show the contrary.
Okay.
Right? So what science has not been able to figure out is we're just saying everybody's different.
Right.
Well, what's different about everybody? It's their consciousness, right? Your consciousness is what determines the efficacy of whatever you do, the bioavailability of whatever you do, not just the food you eat. You can change your food, your lifestyle, eat healthier, right? Perform better, do everything, but you're still ultimately, your bioavailability is determined by consciousness, what you absorb, right? The information, the opportunities that come to you, right? What you have no ability to control what your body absorbs from your food. You can change your diet, but only your body has that inherent intelligence to decide if it's going to absorb the nutrition or not.
Absolutely.
Right? So there are a lot of things that are outside of our control. And we've seen like what destiny is, and we've shown that destiny lives with consciousness. Consciousness gives us our destiny. And that's what we've, conducted multiple times across all these experiments. Again, take an atom, for example, a material, right? You see the periodic table of elements, right? We have all these different materials that exist within nature, and they have something called physical constants. So those physical constants is like you have the character and behavior of the material. In the same way people have different characters and behaviors. Everybody has a different personality, different expression on this planet. Materials have the same thing. Depending on their atomic and molecular structures, right? Ultimately, they behave in a very specific way, right? Water will boil always at 100 degrees centigrade, right? So you have certain different physical constants, latent heat, melting point, firing point. You have viscosity, density. These are all physical constants, right? You change the program, the information within the atom. You're changing the destiny of that atom. When you change that destiny, you put in a new program, you alter that information, then the character as well as the behavior of the material alters completely. We've been able to change boiling points, melting points, physical constants that science says you can't change.
Wow.
Right? We've been able to actually change it only through the divine blessing, just by waving your hands, right? Altering things at the level of consciousness alters the material. So these are things that science has not able to do, right? Unless we're able to like apply an external energy, you like add salt to water or anything, but just by changing the structure of water itself, like the inherent nature of water is always to behave this way unless you change it molecularly, unless you alter it with another energy or chemical energy, right? You can't just make water be different.
Absolutely.